Alrighty guys, this is the Skill 2 video tutorial about distributing. So distributing, remember, if we can look up at the top here, we kind of see a picture of a mailman. Now, when we think about distributing, we think about the distributor, or the thing that is right outside the parentheses, going to each term. Now, when we distribute, think about a mailman. The mailman in a neighborhood, if this is my neighborhood here, goes to each house to deliver the mail. Now, if there is a house that is outside a particular neighborhood, he wouldn't go to that house because that house is not in his route. So think about that analogy when we are talking about distributing. So if we look here, the number or variable directly next to or before the parentheses is the value to distribute by multiplication. And so that means that we are passing out that multiplication just like the mailman passes out mail. So just to make sure that you understand what we're doing, if we look up here, if there is a positive or a negative sign or a plus sign or a minus sign in front of the distributing value, we need to make sure that we keep the sign with it and distribute that sign too. So now we're going to look at 3 examples here. Example number 1. If we look, we have 3 times the quantity of x minus 5 minus 4. So who is the distributor? It means who is the mailman? Who is actually going through and going to be passing out that multiplication? So who's the guy outside the parentheses? That would be 3. He is distributing to the x and negative 5. He is not distributing to negative 4. Negative 4 is outside that neighborhood. So now let's look if we go through. So if we do 3 times x, we get 3x. And if we do 3 times negative 5, we get negative 15. Then we bring down that negative 4 from the original problem. Now we are going to combine like terms, which you learned in the first skill video. And when we do that, we can look and see here that our like terms are negative 15 and negative 4. And if we combine those, negative 15 minus 4 is going to give us negative 19. And then we bring that 3x down. So my final answer, once I've distributed, is 3x minus 19. If we look at the second example, we have negative 4 times the quantity 6 plus 3x plus 7x. So again, who is the distributor right now? Who's our mailman? Negative 4. Who is he distributing to? He has 6 and 3x. Here, let's make that a little bit neater here. And then he is not distributing to 7x because 7x is outside of that neighborhood. So if we do the math down here at the bottom, we have negative 4 times 6, which is negative 24. And we have negative 4 times 3x, which is negative 12x. And then we are adding 7. X bringing that down. So now we need our like terms, and our like terms here are our x values, negative 12x and 7x. So when we write when we combine like terms and we write our final answer, we will have negative 24 minus 5x, because negative 12x plus 7x is negative 5x. So that is my final answer there. For the last one, again, who is the distributor? This one looks a little bit different. And we have 4 minus x times the quantity of 2 plus 3x. So this time, we don't have our distributing until the second half of the equation. And if we look here, our distributor, the one that's right next to the parentheses there, is negative x. So this time we have a negative term that's being distributed. He is going to be passing out multiplication to 2 and to 3x. And he is not distributing to that first term, the positive 4. So if we look here, we have negative x times 2, which is negative 2x. And we also have negative x times 3x. So now, when we think about this negative x, we can think about it as a negative 1x. So if we think about it as a negative 1x, that's negative 1 times a negative 3, negative 1 times positive 3, which would be negative 3. But then you have to think about x times x. When we talked about our exponents, remember 2 times 2 was 2 squared. So in this case, x times x is x squared. And then now we have to bring down the 4. So now we have to combine like terms, but if we look here, we have a 4, we have negative 2x, and we have negative 3x squared. So we don't have any other like terms that we can combine. So my final answer would be 4 minus 2x minus 3x squared. This is the end of the tutorial video for step 2, distributing. Please go ahead and complete the Delta Math now.